Hey folks, excited to have Malte, founder and CEO of Parloa, here with me. You must remember us from over a year ago where we told you about what Parloa was doing, their hypothesis, and I'm happy to report that we are doubling down, this time as they've achieved a lot since the last time you saw us, and even more to come. So Malte, tell us about what has changed since last year.
Sure. Thanks for the invitation, poor friend. Thanks for doubling down. We're very excited. Since actually 12 months ago, we quadrupled our revenue. We brought in world-class talent across engineering, products, go-to-market operations. We have welcomed iconic brands. We are helping to deploy the AI agents across the world. And now we are very excited to double down and go even faster with our Series C.
Incredible. I mean, I've seen some of the talent. You're a talent magnet. You've got some great leaders in Alex Matthey, who was at Adyen for a decade, of four of which he led as the CTO. You've got Dorothy, who joined us as the head of partnerships from Stripe. You've got Chaba, who's leading our product team. I mean, incredible team. And then on the customer base, I mean, I've met some of your customers, large public companies, a bunch of hyperscalers, both as customers and partners. So a lot of momentum, and congrats for all that you've achieved in a very short amount of time. The good news and the bad news that comes with playing in a large market like customer experience, you've got a lot of competition. And maybe just help our audience understand, how is Parloa different? Where do we focus on, and how do we differentiate?
Fully agree. You need to be laser focused in that very competitive space. We always talk about three pillars. The first pillar is that we build the product, we build the company for the largest enterprises out there. So we always ask ourselves, what do those large enterprises need? The second pillar is that those large enterprises, they still see that phone is the most relevant channel. So we started with phone and not with chat as a lot of other competitors. So we have built an own AI-first CCaaS platform that can natively integrate into all those CCaaS platforms. It's very, very fast, low latency, natural experiences of those AI agents with customers. And we're enabling them to deliver the AI agents on the channel phone, but also on the channel chat and messenger, obviously. But we started with voice, and it's the most difficult one to crack. So that's the second pillar, voice. And the third pillar actually is that those large enterprises, they are present in a lot of different countries. So they also need to deliver a lot of different languages. So we help our customers to deliver AI agents in the vast majority of languages. As we are from Europe, we needed to, from the get-go, enable a lot of different languages, and a lot of people think speech-to-text is solved. It is not solved. If you look at phone quality audio and very relevant customer support use cases, it makes a difference to have fine-tuned models to deliver those smaller languages on the quality level you need to deliver them. Apurv would love to hear your thoughts on Altimeter's thesis, why you invested initially, why you're doubling down now.
Of course. Look, I think it's a massive market. It is one of the biggest applications of large language models, right alongside software engineering. And last year, what I shared was our hypothesis, but now these are data points, right? We are going after large enterprise at Parloa. And I believe to build a massive business, you need to start with large enterprise. You know, lots of public companies, lots of companies that have customer experience as their primary differentiator. Second, most of the gross margin in customer experience is in voice. Why is that the case? The reason that's the case is because voice is a synchronous conversation. If you and I having this conversation, you did not respond for a couple of seconds, I'd be worried. But in an email conversation or a text conversation, you could not respond for seconds, for minutes, maybe even days, and that'd be fine. And the way the staffing works for a synchronous conversation, you've got to build your team for a peak capacity. That's why it becomes expensive. And that's why we believe that voice is the place where most of the opportunity is. And Parloa starts at voice, excels at voice, obviously giving the other products like chat and email. So that was the second thing. The third thing, which I believe is actually completely underappreciated by the market, is the value in being Europe first. Look at the number of people who speak English in the world. Billions. When you compete with an English-speaking rep, you're competing with $5 an hour. The number of people who speak German, Norwegian, French, all the Scandinavian languages, Dutch, single millions, maybe 10 million. We compete with $20 an hour on German. We compete with $40 an hour on Norwegian and some of these other languages. And I mean, even some of the largest public companies that we work with often start out working with us in Europe, because those are the hardest parts of customer experience for them to manage, both because of the lack of humans and the cost of serving those regions. That was our thesis, and it continues to play out phenomenally. So kudos to you guys. And maybe I'll ask you one final question, Malte. What is our long-term vision for Parloa? Where is this all going 5-10 years from now?
The exciting thing is that we believe we're at the beginning of the biggest transformation of customer experience that has ever happened. Every homepage, every app, every touch point will be having some conversations attached to it. So let's imagine you're calling an airline approved. And right now you would wait in line for 15 minutes. And if you're connected to a human agent, every time it will probably be another agent. So now imagine you're calling that airline again, and your personal AI agent picks up after 1 second and says, "Hey, Apurv, how are you? Have you decided if you want to upgrade to business class for your next flight from San Francisco to New York next week? If no, no worries, just call me back whenever you want." And 15 minutes later, you could call back again, and the same voice, the same personal AI agent picks up after a second and says, "Hey, Apurv, and have you decided?" And if you don't want to call, you could also pick out your phone and you could write a WhatsApp or iMessage, and you could write to your personal AI agent that you want to upgrade. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to call or chat, maybe on Monday, this personal AI agent will call you and says, "Hey, Apurv, unfortunately, there are just 2 seats available in business class. Do you want to have one of those seats? Otherwise, I would give them to someone else." So there's a one-to-one relationship between this personal AI agent and you as a customer. And if the airline has 150 million customer, the airline will have 150 million personal AI agents. So now every single conversation is actually an opportunity for a brand to build a relationship with a customer. And that has never been possible, to actually have one dedicated agent for every single customer. And that will change customer experience forever. And we help enterprises to actually build the infrastructure to deliver that promise.
That's a great point. Why stop at the current state when everybody can have an agent, have hundreds of millions of agents? So that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Malte. And shameless plug for engineers, for salespeople, for marketing folks. Parloa is growing rapidly. If you are aligned with our mission, please give us a shout. We'd love to have you on the team.